as you're about to see, there was a lot of emotion there. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of the people have seen the press conference footage over and over again.
Right.
Well, it was held at the RCA building, but what I found out was what went through their minds when they first heard the news broadcast on the radio and how they're coping with such a serious situation.
Today's pretty much the most difficult day of my life.
This is what the press and the public saw on October 17th, the day Naomi Judd called it quits.
I have to resign, I have to retire from the music industry that I love so much.
In their first television interview since that day, Naomi and Wynonna told me how they felt when their long-kept secret became public information.
So that after the announcement, we, you know, initially you feel sort of, oh, I did it. I remember when I had to say, I have to resign. I couldn't get the words out. I kept going, and they just, I was like, come on. But we got back to my house, and everybody, Wynonna, Ashley, mother, daughter, and Larry and I wanted to be alone. So Larry and I were in the car, and she and Ashley were in the truck. And when we pulled up in front of this little diner down in Franklin, it had just turned dark. It was about 5 o'clock. It started to rain. And then we did hear on the radio that the announcement the Judds have broken up. And he played Love Is Alive. And I looked over and saw Wynonna fall forward on the steering wheel of the truck. And I jumped out of the car and ran around and grabbed her and told Larry and Ashley to go on in and eat. I said, Wynonna and I kind of need to be alone. And we were in the truck, and we kept switching back and forth to the 2 radio stations. And here we were, just the way it started. Just the 2 of us, knowing that everybody now knew our big secret.
How was it finally telling the world, so to speak, about something that you've kept a secret for a while?
Pretty unspeakable, pretty hideous. But frankly, the burden that I carried around for so long of not being able to tell anybody has been lifted off of me. So now I feel that things are under control.
Tell me but don't tell me I was born to be blue.
Although you could never tell it by watching her on stage, Naomi has felt very ill for all of 1990.
I told somebody the other day that the Lord is my doctor and the fans are my medicine. But really what has happened the last 8 months since I've really had full-blown hepatitis, you feel like you have the flu every day. If you can imagine having the flu every day for a year.
First step is to realize that it all begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge.
Their latest single, written by Naomi, was inspired by this ordeal. She and Wynonna decided to finally talk about it to squelch rumors that have been circulating since February.
Because there's a lot of talk out there about other things, other crazy things that people are thinking.
I don't have cancer.
And the thing is that when you feel just helpless, you want to pick up the phone and call all the fans and say, look, it's okay. I mean, this is really a growing experience for both of us. We've become closer than ever.
Hi!
The Judds got together with their fans last night in their hometown of Ashland, Kentucky, where they dedicated the new Judd Plaza and took part in a parade.
Our next door neighbors, girls, the hens that I grew up with, were standing in front of our old Sunday school room door. Ashley!
With faith and prayers, Naomi is determined to beat this very serious illness. It's a scary situation, but she believes she'll win.
I have chronic active hepatitis, which is not a good diagnosis, but the prognosis is now good. I've got the doctors kind of scratching their heads because faith works miracles.
Well, it looks like those prayers are paying off. Right now, Naomi is in chemical remission, which means she was treated with a drug called interferon, which lowers the enzyme levels in the body.
Is it freezing in here today?
It's not that cold in here, is it? No. It's the warmth of the show will have you away from that in no
Would you
time.
put your arm around me and keep me warm?
I'm busy. I got a show to do here. Hi there. Welcome to Crook and Chase. I'm Charlie Chase, along with Lori Ann Crook. And boy, did I do something that no man in America probably will.
I'll get you for that.
Go ahead.
We have the sweetest story today. You know, for 12 years, the Professional Drivers for Entertainers have organized this special program called Christmas for Kids.
Yes.
Now, these are the guys who drive the buses for the stars. So they gather their families and a bunch of volunteers together to help out the needy children of Middle Tennessee. And they take the kids out to eat. They visit Twitty City. They go shopping for Christmas
Right,
gifts.
and some of the money they raise is gathered by allowing fans to get an up-close look at the stars' living quarters while they're on the road, of course, for a small donation. Well, this year we had the chance to tag along for the whole ride with a special couple of ladies.
That's not the same road that he had on the CMAs, is it?
Garth Brooks and the Judds were just a few of the many country artists who donated their tour buses for display and for a good cause.
And the principals and the teachers of the schools in the Nashville area give us a list of the kids who are on the free lunch program who don't have coats to wear to school in the cold weather. And we take these little creatures to the restaurant up here, feed them lunch, and really give them one-on-one attention.
After lunch, it was time for a shopping spree.
Well, Fred, let's go where the toys are. This isn't his department. He doesn't want to be here.
This is Nancy. She's my new friend, and I'm real proud of Nancy. Her mom is blind, and she does all the chores at home, and she's a real smart girl. And the reason we're doing this today is not just to get a bunch of clothes, which they need real bad, and toys and everything, but to show them that somebody cares and that they're special, and tell them they can do anything, right? Say Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, boy. Well, Naomi plans to bring Nancy, her brother, and her mom out to Naomi's farm for the holidays. I think that's great. Naomi says the real credit goes to the bus drivers who work all year long for the program. But see, when the stars are involved, it really does make a difference. Matter of fact, over $21,000 was raised, and I think that's wonderful for something that happens this time of
Well,
year.
the Judds called here today, and
Yes,
they told one of
Naomi
our
called.
producers, Barry Hollins, that they enjoyed it, and all the other stars, they enjoyed doing this so much, a real
Yeah.
kick. Well, you know, 259 kids participated, and there were almost 50 of the buses on display.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a big deal. It's a
That's
fun
right.
thing
You
for
don't
everybody.
realize how important it is until you actually do something like that. And I think that's
Yeah.
what Naomi was telling us on the phone today, and that's great.
Makes everybody feel
Yes.
good. Well, folks,
Naomi Judd is now showing her other talents by playing a not-so-nice character on this week's episode of the hit sitcom Third Rock from the Sun. Jan Snyder takes us to the set where more than just words were flying.
I get it. You're insulting me, aren't you?
And Naomi's doing a pretty good job of it. Actually, it's Mama Judd's version of Mama Randall. In her sitcom debut, Naomi plays the mother of an earthling who is in love with one of the show's aliens.
My, that's an interesting dress you're wearing.
Do you like my dress?
It's very interesting.
Good, because
To tell you the truth, I'm not a TV watcher, but I'd heard, you know, my friends, you know, my personal assistant, my hairdresser, and all these people are addicted to this show. So I watched a couple of tapes, had them send them to me, and now I'm just crazy about this crazy show.
So what kind of impression has Naomi left on the cast? Well, let's just say she's a hit.
Over my dead body.
doable.
The job was a little more dangerous than Naomi was expecting.
Did I get you there? I got your glasses.
But Naomi wasn't pulling any punches either.
I'm very clear to say there's really only one actress in the Judd family, and her name starts with A. You must be...
The stubborn daughter. I'm Reed.
It was 2 years ago this month that Naomi played herself opposite her acting daughter in the NBC series Sisters. She even got the chance to poke fun at the reunion.
In fact, she reminds me so much of my youngest, Ashley.
Oh, impetuous, willful, a mind of her own.
I'm telling you, they could be one and the same.
But it was one of Ashley's co-stars from a later production who gave Naomi some advice. Veteran actor Robert De Niro.
I said, what can you tell somebody who's never had an acting class or read a book? Zero, zip, zilch. And he said, well, honey, it took me over 20 years to start to feel like I knew what the heck I was doing. I went, oh.
You can see Naomi on Third Rock from the Sun tomorrow night on NBC.
You can stay home and eat with the stars. Sort of. Naomi Judd has authored a new cookbook, but this is your standard type. In typical Judd fashion, this cookbook is more like a recipe for life. Jan Snyder explains.
It's just like my kitchen at home.
Naomi Judd is comfortable in just about any kitchen, whether it's in her own kitchen with Lorianne Crook or Atlanta's Planet Hollywood, where she talked about her new cookbook.
The cookbook is a compilation of all the best generational recipes of Judd women, and we do know how to cook. My mom was a cook on a riverboat on the Mississippi, and my great-grandmother ran the most popular restaurant in our town, so it's in the DNA, I think. And it's actually a whole lot more than recipes. It's a guide to living. There's a lot about complementary medicine, one of the great loves of my life. A lot of herbal remedies, that kind of thing. A lot of health statistics. A lot of stuff about how women can de-stress their lives. What a concept, huh?
Naomi also included bits and pieces of the Judds' home life.
It's got a lot of behind-the-scenes stories. There's pictures of Wynonna having a massive food fight. There's pictures of Ashley's boyfriends sitting at the kitchen table. I never know who she's going to bring home for supper.
Ashley's love life was also a topic on this day for Big Sister Wynonna. It all started when her cell phone rang.
Oh, that's really great. That's my phone. How? Let's see, is it Michael Walter? Honey.
I would just like to say that's really not fair to Michael. I'm sorry. Matthew is my friend, has been for a long time. That's not fair to Michael.
They express themselves in ways sometimes quite different than I do, but that's fine. We put the fun in dysfunctional.
Carter, who has news of a Judd.
Yes, we have Judd. She's very good. We've known that Ashley Judd was a good actress. We've known that for some time. But this is really going to make her a star.
You're talking about the new movie, which
Kiss
is,
the Girls, out this weekend.
You mentioned something upstairs about Academy Award nomination.
I think there could be Oscar talk in this.
Really?
It's a very similar movie to Silence of the Lambs, if you ever saw that one. And that got Jodie Foster an Oscar. And I'll tell you that Ashley Judd is really almost as good.
I'd like to say something to Casanova. I broke your rules. None of the other women helped. So if you're looking for someone to blame, blame me.
The movie, Kiss the Girls. The leading lady, Ashley Judd. This should be the movie that takes the youngest Judd to the top.
What do you see when you escape?
There were doors, there were walls, there were stairs.
Guy's a pro. A real student of the game.
The film is a murder mystery. If I tell you too much or much of anything, it will spoil it for you. Think Silence of the Lambs if you want a comparison. Morgan Freeman is a good cop with personal interest in solving a string of murders. Ashley Judd, well, she's a good guy too. And that's all you're going to get from me. Are you proud of this role? I hope you are, because it's very good.
I'm very proud of it. Very proud of it.
Did you have high hopes going in for this project, I'm sure?
I always have high hopes, but I get my satisfaction on a daily basis. When I lie in bed at night, I think about, did I really give it my all? Did I absolutely do everything that is humanly within my power to do?
This character is a victim. We're not going to talk a lot about where this movie's going, because I think the less you know about this movie, the better off you are as an audience member. Do you feel that way?
I think so. I mean, you certainly don't want to dilute any of the suspense and the twists and turns.
This lady is, has a lot of problems in this movie, and she's, very emotional, and she's getting beat up and all kinds of things like that. Is that something you can cut on and cut off like a light switch?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there obviously has to be a pretty omnipresent undercurrent into which you tap very quickly, because that's requisite on a set. When, they're ready, they're ready. It's very technical. And when we just did my sister's video a couple weeks ago, she was pretty grouchy the second morning of getting up at a certain time, and I said, that's what this milieu is about. This particular venue for artistic expression is a real balance between the technical sort of thinking side of things, as well as having that emotional accessibility within a moment's notice. Like, if you want that particular look when the sun is just right there and how gorgeous it would be cinematically, that's what you got to do. And that's definitely part of the challenge for me.
Wynonna said the other night, it was kind of an interesting comment, I worry about Ashley sometimes. Do you get that a lot?
She worries about me in what way?
Oh, well, you name it. I think one thing was she has such a hard career and she's made such a hard choice for herself. You know, I think they hear all this yin and yang that goes on out here in Hollywood, and she has a hard time herself. But,
it's a big sister thing. I mean, I could be an accountant, you know, and they would worry for me at tax time, I'm sure.
Does your mother worry about you?
It's ridiculous. But she's always harbored that for me. I've always been, you know, sort of wild. I mean, if it's not the Harley one day, it's a horse the other. So she just is a typical mother, and she's concerned.
Do you ever look in the mirror and see your mother?
Oh, so often. And somebody just sent me some pictures that I hadn't seen before. They were taken last November over Thanksgiving. And it's unbelievable.
It really is.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, you're a...
And I'm even, don't tell her, acting like her every now and then.
Oh, really?
True.
Now,
I know.
I reported this conversation back to Wynonna. And Wynonna said, she said that she looks like Mom? I said, yes, she did. Wynonna couldn't believe that she admitted that.
Really? Well, I
She couldn't believe that I said that to her. She thought Ashley might slap me or something.
No kidding. Well, I guess a mother-daughter thing, but I watched her appearance on Leno. We're talking about Ashley again here. And I saw the laugh. I saw the mannerisms of Naomi. She's Naomi all over again.
Yeah, boy, I don't know. I guess that's, I mean, now, Mama, you raised a good kid here, and that's the most interesting family. It really is. Mama is something else, and you know it, Naomi. Wynonna is definitely something else, too. By the way, I heard a little sneak of her album today. Don't think I was supposed to hear it. Wynonna is the best thing you've ever done, no doubt about that. Good. And this is the best movie that Ashley's ever done.
Okay, well, let's talk about the movie. It recently premiered in Los Angeles. What's the feedback out there so far? They like it as much as you're talking about?
Yes, they do. It's getting good buzz. I haven't read the crazy print critics yet and see what they say about it. But Morgan Freeman is almost bulletproof. Everybody seems to like everything he does. Ashley's kind of a darling. She impressed the press when she finally sat down and talked to them. So I think only good things are coming from her. She's a smart girl. She used the word milieu, which might be the first time we've ever heard that word used on the network. Omnipresence. I mean, that's some great stuff. I was just kind of writing stuff down, you know.
Okay.
But the question is, did you look it up just to see what any of it meant?
Yes, because I'm a paragon of intellectual perspicacity, if you'd like to look that up.
No. No, you're not.
I know what all of that means, and he isn't.
He doesn't have a clue. What's the report card on the movie, JC?
This is an easy one, too. I like this one a lot. I give it a big old A. I'm giving a lot of...
What's it rated?
It's probably R, because it's a little intense. This is not Masterpiece Theater or Captain Kangaroo or something. It's just pretty intense stuff.
Gotcha.
All right. Terrific interview. Thanks,
Thank
Jimmy.
you.
Jimmy Carter, we'll be back.
Welcome back to Crook and Chase tonight here on TNN. There was a lot going on in country music news this week. In Nashville, the Opry returned to the Ryman. In Memphis, big stars with big hearts showed up at St. Jude's.
And out there in Arizona, Judds fans were in a frenzy. Lisa Young has more.
Thanks, Lorianne and Charlie. Well, I'm here in Phoenix, where Wynonna and Naomi Judd will ring in the millennium with a massive reunion concert. And as you can see, the fans who are lined up here for tickets are very excited about that. In fact, fans lined up outside the America West Arena 2 days before tickets went on sale, sleeping on the sidewalk and munching on delivered dinner.
They think we're a little crazy, but you know, you bring the sleeping bag, you bring the fuzzy blanket, everybody kind of huddles together and stays warm.
Mike Kenyon took 2 days off from work to be the first in line.
The Judds New Year's Eve, that says it all right there. It's going to be a great show.
After a few quick games of Monopoly, night turned to morning, and fans got a big surprise at the ticket booth.
I'm so glad you guys are back. This is really exciting.
So what set the reunion in motion? A simple mother-daughter conversation.
You're feeling good, aren't you? I feel fabulous. Let's have a party. You know what? Because we love the fans so much, and they've changed our lives, why don't we invite them too?
Mike got his tickets on the 6th row center, but what he'll see on New Year's Eve is anybody's guess.
I know you know what you're going to wear, seriously. And I don't know the set list. We don't have any idea production-wise. Wynonna and Ashley we're still in the middle of the We're going to planning. dance. Wynonna and Ashley are going to dance because we like to dance around the kitchen while we're doing stuff, you know.
Why and Naomi danced on outside the arena to a warm reception from those who've missed them.
This is real. It's like,
so she never gets tickets.
Well, Well, somewhere in this crowd behind me, Wynonna and Naomi are making their fans very happy. The ones who spent the night out here think it's all worth it now. So while they sign autographs, let's go to Terry Bumgarner in Memphis.